Vince McMahon selling stock and the way he goes about doing it here, according to the Observer, is fascinating to me. The company is doing a roadshow for investors where they will be revealing long-term company goals. And following the roadshow, Vince McMahon will sell 7.1 million of his personal shares of the company, currently valued at an excess of $100 million. That stock is not available yet, and McMahon will probably wait until after the dividend comes out, where he'll be getting $3.2 million on July 8th before putting the stock up. And after the sale of his stock, his quarterly dividend would be 2.8 per quarter or 11.3 million annually. Plus he will have taken in around $100 million more in the sale. So he's socking huge money away this year. And when the sales are completed, Vince's ownership of WWE will drop from 80% to 67%. And it should also quiet any rumors that the company is thinking of or wanting to go back private. Those very close to the top, when these rumors have come out, have denied them, saying that Vince and Linda feel like being on the New York Stock Exchange gives their company a real world credibility as a major company that no other pro wrestling company has ever had. Not to mention, it made Vince McMahon hovering on the level of being a billionaire. From a company standpoint, because they have so much cash and cash equivalents in the hundreds of millions of dollars, both in the bank and low interest investments, there's always the thought of going into another business. At the same time, the sting of such flops as the WBF and XFL haven't gone away. And the feeling is to stay within the wrestling world. They know so much of an aggressive approach as purchasing all the old tapes and ideas of how to monetize that library. So I find this fascinating, especially with, the new news of Vince McMahon making huge personal investments into a new XFL. But the idea that he's going to do like a dog and pony show for investors and then sell the stock after, that's genius. Your numbers may be down a little bit. So let's go out here, show everybody the long-term plans, get them excited about the future, not down on the present, but excited for the future. And then let's cash out, baby. $100 million. Great strategy from Vince here.
They didn't cash out. He made more stock available to the public for them to sell. That was the purpose of the roadshow. So they're like, okay, if this is so great, that we need more stock to sell. And by Vince releasing the stock that he had, yes, he gets paid for that, but it also releases more stock out into the public market so that people can purchase stock. That's business. Do it every day.
All right. Now I'm ready to get you fired up. Are you ready to get fired up?
Sure.
They shot a major TV angle at a house show on May 2nd in El Paso. During the angle for the Guerrero-Layfield main event, where they had Eddie Guerrero's mother suffer a heart attack due to an attack by Layfield. After Guerrero got the pin in the match, he went around soaking up the cheers, and he talked about how proud he was to return to El Paso as champion, cut a promo, and brought his family into the ring. And he first introduced his wife and two daughters, and then he gave his wife flowers, and he talked about being so close to Mother's Day. So he brought his mother into the ring and gave her flowers. And then Layfield came back out while this was going on and nailed Guerrero with a clothesline. Then he grabbed Eddie's mother in what was described as a Vulcan pinch to the neck, basically trying to give the illusion of hurting her without actually doing anything. And the family was freaking out while Eddie couldn't do anything to save his mother. Finally, officials came from backstage to break it up, and Layfield posed with the belt. And Guerrero's mother went out on a stretcher and an oxygen mask while Guerrero recovered and did a great job, apparently making all of this seem legit. I think everyone realized how dead Guerrero JBL was as a pay-per-view main event. So they are going to desperate storyline lengths to give this a shot of adrenaline. From what we understand, they were thrilled with the Guerrero's daughters and how they pulled off their roles. And apparently Eddie's mother's blood pressure legitimately went up as she was in the ring because of all the excitement and pressure of the angle, although nobody knew it until afterwards, and she ended up fine. You've told this story before. That's not the way you tell it though.
Well, no, because of course Who reported that? Was that FW? What is it? FWK or FDM?
It's FDM.
Okay, figures. Well, first of all, JBL was never going to grab Eddie's mom in any way of trying to make it like he hurt her. All he did was going to grab her and say, "Hey, look at your son," but not in a mean physical way. She was a 73-year-old woman. She was going to go down, and what took place is she went down, and the excitement of it got to her, and there was fear of her having a heart attack. And actually, as all this shit was going out, she couldn't get her breath. She couldn't get anything. And the doctor's like, she's having a fucking heart attack. Well, while we're at the ring, I'm like going, hey, good acting, doc. But he wasn't acting. She wasn't acting. And Eddie Guerrero sure as fuck wasn't acting. It was a serious moment that we didn't know what the hell was going on. And we got her to the back, and we got the ambulance and everything there to get her checked out. It was a scary situation. It was a real scary deal for just something to do on Mother's Day in Eddie's hometown. And, it was a strong angle. It was something that I thought about when I sat there and looked, and hey, Mother's Day, we're in El Paso. It's Eddie's hometown. Could have some fun here. And that's what we did. Right or wrong, it was what it was. And unfortunately, Eddie's mom, got a little worked up, and there was a health scare there, legit. But she was okay. She ended up being okay at the end of the day. And, everybody got out. We got a great angle. We got a real story. And I got threatened by Eddie Guerrero several times. And everybody lived on to have a happy life.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what AdFreeShows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-Free Shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that AdFreeShows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. AdFreeShows.com.